Cornyn is next.
Little ethanol. You can ask about big oil if you want to.
Senator Cornyn.
Sorry.
Ambassador Tai, I had to do a double take on the title of this hearing. The title says the President's 2024 Trade Policy Agenda. I really think it would be more accurate to say the President's 2024 Non-Trade Policy Agenda. The reason I say that is because the administration is not currently negotiating any free trade agreements, are you?
Not in the traditional sense, Senator Cornyn. We are negotiating new types of trade agreements.
So the way you are negotiating these so-called frameworks lack the tools for any market access that a trade agreement would provide, along with enforcement actions that could be taken to enforce that access, correct?
Well, Senator Cornyn, this is an opportunity for me to explain again.
No, you don't need to explain it again. You need to answer my question.
The traditional FTAs that we negotiate continue to pit Americans against Americans and sectors against sectors in a way that is entirely unsustainable, as we've seen in our recent experience. We know we can't keep doing that.
Well, I know you filibustered Senator Grassley, but you're not going to filibuster now. The point is that absent trade agreements, there is no enforcement mechanism to make sure that American farmers, businesses, and workers aren't harmed by denial of market access to these countries that are denying that access or imposing huge subsidies to prefer their products as opposed to ours. There is no mechanism for enforcement, is there?
Well, Senator Cornyn, the point is in securing market access to secure the market access, and we've done that with negotiations that are not FTAs. They have been moved faster. With India, for instance, we've opened up 12 different categories, gotten lowered tariffs. New product from America is going to India, $21 billion in new market access over the last 3 years. We see results,
let's talk about China
including
for a minute.
for farmers in Texas.
Has the administration taken any enforcement actions against China?
The administration absolutely has moved forward with an aggressive set of policies against China.
Have you taken enforcement actions?
I suppose it depends on what you mean by enforcement actions.
I
but
mean
certainly
enforcement actions.
With respect to export controls on semiconductors, you've seen that.
I'm not just talking about talk. I'm talking about actual enforcement actions against China.
I think that those actions have certainly moved markets.
If you'll wait for my question, they are accessing the World Trade Organization seeking to dispute provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act. Meanwhile, China continues to subsidize and prefer their products by spending a lot of money, making it much harder for American businesses to compete. Has the administration taken any sort of enforcement actions against China in the World Trade Organization or anywhere else to go after them? They are taking advantage of that access in the World Trade Organization against us, but are we doing it against them?
We have in the past taken lots of actions against China.
When was the last time you did it?
Well, let me put it this way. Let me answer your original question.
When did you do it?
Well, it's been ineffective, Senator Cornyn, which is why we no longer do the things that aren't effective.
Well, you talked them into it or what?
We initiated an enforcement action today under Section 301 on Chinese non-market policies and practices affecting the maritime industry and shipbuilding industries. So yes, we have this morning.
Let me ask you about Texas is a major or the most, the largest trade exporting state in the nation. Yet in recent years, corn exports, for example, are down $500 million to $12.8 billion. Livestock, poultry, and dairy exports are forecast to decrease by $1.3 billion. Pork exports are down $300 million. Soybean exports are projected down $500 million, and wheat exports are forecast down $800 million. What explains this robust trade agenda that you say the Biden administration has, and the fact that market share for American agricultural products is down across the board?
Well, Senator Cornyn, I'd have to look at the sources of your statistics to understand better what basis the forecasts are made on. But the last 3 years, we have set records for American ag exports.
You set records, but it's a record decrease, not increase.
No, record, high record exports for the last 3 years, and I'm happy to get those numbers to you.
I'll be happy to share my records with you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank my colleague. Senator Cortez Masto is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ambassador Tai, it's great to see you. Thank you for visiting with me last week. One of the things we talked about were titanium